These are all my thoughts and opinions based on information out in the public domain. Okay, all of it that we're going to discuss in this video and in all the videos I do is information in the public domain and just my opinion. Happy Christmas to everybody. I hope you've had a lovely, lovely Christmas. And yes, it is called Christmas. It's not a holiday. It is a religious celebration of Jesus Christ. It is a religious celebration. It's not a holiday. So I hope you had a happy Christmas. If you're different religious, I hope you enjoyed your days off if you had any. I want to do this video. I always want to do my videos to express my opinions, really. So let's start with this. I'm going to give you an example because I like to put things a little bit into perspective. And please don't come into my channel to do sophistry. When we talk about something and then and I read these comments about something that's kind of related but really has nothing to do with what is being said in the video. So anyways, it's actually quite cold today, but it's really pretty. Ben Affleck has been trashed because he went with Howard Stern, which is a podcaster or a celebrity, whatever you want to call him, and basically blamed his wife for drinking because he said that he didn't want to leave his children and he felt trapped. So what he did was drank alcohol and to down his sorrows. I think we can all pretty much agree that nowadays getting divorced is not a big thing. It doesn't mean that you're going to lose your family or anything for most cases. And given Jennifer Garner, we can safely assume that she's a pretty decent woman who would have never denied him access to his children. So those comments, he was trashed because that's what he said. But yet he went on Jimmy Kimmel Live, completely defensive, saying, no, I didn't say that. Yes, you did. Number one. Number two, when you attacked my children, nobody attacked his children at all. He was called out on his own words and the fact that he doesn't take responsibility for things. And yet he said, oh, when you come at my children, I have limits. That's it. You can't do that. And people are clapping. And yet, if you look at why he was called out on his behavior, it's because of his words. It has nothing to do with the children. In fact, people were outraged because his children shouldn't be hearing the coward of a father saying those things which are lies. He was an addict way before he met Jennifer Garner. In fact, that has been a long-term thing. I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he falls off the wagon again, because somebody who doesn't take accountability for his actions, especially his drinking, not going to go anywhere. So this leads me back to Meghan Markle. The fact that anybody, and I mean anybody, I've heard commentators, I thought a little bit about doing this video because people I really like, and follow, were saying, oh, what a lovely picture. Okay. This would be the equivalent of a picture of the Menendez brothers with his parents prior to them killing them. If you had like a nice picture done, the colors are nice. The fact that anybody's saying this is a nice picture when everybody knows the dynamic of what's going on and the message, the written message underneath it is quite disturbing. That is very terrible. Narcissist people like Meghan Markle, they like the way that they keep attention on them is by pitting people against each other. By her saying that the baby Markle, and I'm not going to say her name because the baby's name is a violation to Her Majesty the Queen, because we all know why that name is there, because she violated Her Majesty the Queen. And these are my thoughts and opinions. So I'm not going to go, oh, so it's so gorgeous. People don't even know what the baby looks like, baby Markle looks like. So I'm never going to say her name because that is a violation, and that is reinforcing to the world that it's okay for her to have done that, which we all know what her motives were, which were abusive. So it's like saying now to Archie and Harry and anybody else who's reading that very public comment that Archie it's a nobody. He made them biological parents, but not a family. Harry didn't make her a family. The royal family didn't make her a family. And remember when they went in their engagement, when they said, "Oh, my family has welcomed like nothing she's ever had." Even Harry went on public television and said that the royal family was the family that Meghan Markle never had, which was an insult to her own family, which were very loving towards her. So that message, so for people to say that that picture is lovely, that picture in itself is an abomination, in my opinion, because this woman is using a little child to tell the other child to compete for her affection, because that little child now, she has put out there in public that who matters is that little girl, not him. That he is now irrelevant. That little boy has been markled. And I'll tell you something else. So that puts a frame of mind that this little boy will have to grow up fighting for her affection, because that's how she likes it. She likes to feel important. So she pits family members against each other to gain her favor. And that includes that, I'm sorry I'm going to swear, that fucking ginger wanker Harry, because he's complicit with her. Because let me tell you why. His ego, I don't think he's as much in love with her as his ego doesn't allow him to understand. Because his ego is saying, listen, you are a prince. You are a prince. You are so-and-so. All his life, he's done everything he wanted. And if I am a prince, there is no way that somebody like me would fall in love with a low-life nobody like Meghan Markle. So his ego will not allow him to admit that he was conned, that he may not love her, but now he has to ride that ride until he dies or until she dumps him. And it's going to be even more humiliating for him to be dumped by the likes of a lowlife nobody like Meghan Markle. Okay? But anyway, so now Harry is now also dismissing that little boy, because now he knows that his wife adores or whatever, or is fixated. I don't think she is capable of love. Is fixated on that little girl. So now, because he knows that Meghan prefers that little girl, the little boy will be ignored. That's how it is. That's how it is with narcissists. And Harry will do whatever it takes to keep pleasing Meghan Markle. Not because he loves her, but because his ego, and I repeat, his ego has to aggrandize her, because he cannot admit that he fell for somebody of such a low life, such a nobody. He cannot admit it. Now, Harry and Meghan Markle are both equal. It's just that one was in a higher spectrum than the other. You find low lives in all walks of life, and the royal family is not immune to that. Harry was a low life, is a low life, and will continue to be a ginger low life all his life. His actions are terrible. So now we have this little boy who's in that picture as an afterthought, while both parents are completely ignoring him and just focused on that little girl. That's the picture they post. Now, many comparisons have been made between Princess Diana, the gorgeous, beautiful Princess Diana. Yes, I am a big Princess Diana fan. When a picture was taken of her playing with Prince William, to put context with that picture, there was a photo session that day, and Princess Diana was playing with Prince William, and unbeknownst to her, that picture was taken. So you can see that there was a genuine intimate moment between Princess Diana and her little boy. It wasn't something that was posed. It wasn't something that wasn't there. She was trying to keep the baby happy for the continuing photo session. And the photos that came out were gorgeous pictures of her, Prince William, with Prince Charles, all sitting looking forward. So now that you have that context, that Princess Diana wasn't posing, that was one of the random pictures that was taken that day without her knowing. And it was so lovely that the photographer posted it on, gave it to the press or whatever. Whereas Meghan, I've seen a couple of people going, oh, look, and she's leaning towards Harry. She's not leaning against Harry in closeness. It's just that in her desperate quest to imitate, to replicate Princess Diana, because this Meghan Markle is a sick individual in her quest, in her desperate stalking quest to imitate a picture with that Princess Diana did. She has to raise the baby up. So, either she rises it up like that, which is awkward, or she has to have some angle. So that's why she's leaning against Prince Harry. Even Meghan Markle knows that she can't post a picture completely alone with the child, because I'm pretty sure that's what she would have wanted, a picture just herself, just like Princess Diana. But even she knows that that would be too much, and she would be too much criticized. As is, she's already being called out for that behavior. So no, she wasn't leaning against Harry in a show of closeness. It was no choice in order to get the angle that she wanted, and that was a post picture as opposed to Princess Diana. And those are two completely separate things. Now, I am going to talk about something technical in the picture. I am a mother. I am around children all the time because I have friends who have babies. My baby, anybody who's a mother, and let me tell you something. There's a lie there somewhere, because a child, the photographer claims that he took that picture in summertime. If that child was born on June 4th, and the summer ends in July, end of July, maybe August, sorry. If that picture was taken sometime in August, that child was was about 3 months old. It is impossible, and I mean impossible, it can't happen, that a child can be like that and the head not fall down. Because the children at that age, babies at that age, they haven't developed the muscles to keep the head uptight. They start doing that from 5.5 to 6 months. They start getting strength in the neck, and they're able to keep their head up tight. This is why we hold children. You always hold their heads up to 3 to 4 months when they start to sort of. But at the angle that Meghan Markle had that child, it's basically that child, in order to keep her head straight, she would need and defy gravity, because also that goes against gravity. To keep your head up high. Now we do it because, we're older, we can do that. But a child at that age, is actually, their head is quite heavy. I remember, sorry about this, I remember my son, I can tell you exactly how old my son was when I used to put him on his stomach when he was a baby, to help him lift his head, to get him muscles. They can even turn their heads on their own when they're lying on their back, on their stomach, at 4 or 5 months. Around 6, they start sort of kind of lifting their heads and being able to switch sides. My son, I remember when he was 4.5, almost 5 months, when I remember Henrik, he was lying on his stomach, and I was talking to him because I was trying to train him to get better handle of his head, and I would call his name Henrik, and he was kind of lifting his head from the bed in a straight position. I remember I made a big deal, like, oh my God, he lifted his head. And he was almost 4.5 months. Around 6 or 7 months, about 8 or 9 months, they really have more control of their necks, where they can turn it upside down. So she's holding supposedly what is, according to what this photographer said, that he took it in summertime, which means that baby would have been 2.5, 3 months. And Meghan Markle is lifting that baby, and the baby's head is standing right up straight. So in my opinion, they took the picture just very recently, because the baby would have been 6 months and would have been able to hold her head high, like up, without having to dip it. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. Their muscles in the back of their necks and their necks are not built. They're not strong enough. But that's just the technical part of it. And the point is, why lie? Another thing, one of my friends has met Archie 4 times and baby Markle 1 time. I can tell you from what he says to me that that baby is not as white as posted on that picture, and neither is Lily. They're white. They're whiter than Meghan, but they're not as white as Harry. They're a different tone of white. It's like a golden white, but they're not as white as they are. And their hair is not red. The little boy's hair is about dirty, dark blonde, with some hints of red. And the baby doesn't have a head full of hair. He has patches here, and in the back of the head for some reason. The child doesn't have complete hair, and yet, why Photoshop children like that? Hairy. Why not be a natural family? That family to me is an abomination. That picture to me is an abomination to that little boy who's been denigrated before the whole world, who's been told you were not good enough. Those are the family dynamics in there. And then she has Meghan Markle and Harry completely ignoring that child. Instead of putting both children in the middle, looking at each other or playing with each other, and both parents looking at each of the children if they don't want to show their faces. But no, it's like, it's all this baby Mark or girl, and Archie, you have served your purpose. You're no longer relevant. And if you want any attention, you're going to have to fight for it between Harry and so you have the two boys fighting in Meghan Markle's head for her love and affection. That is a despicable card. Secondly, I'm sorry it's gone a little bit longer. So for anybody who's coming out and saying this is a lovely card, when you now know what it represents, the people in that picture, and the message underneath is like, yeah, we had this boy, and biologically we were parents, but this girl is the one that matters. And using the name, a name that was chosen to violate somebody else, Her Majesty the Queen. How can anybody say what a beautiful picture, and that the children are gorgeous when both children have been photoshopped the hell out of them? Now, I'm going to say something really quickly. Please leave your comments. Please leave your comments. But that is what narcissists do. In order for Meghan Markle to keep people interested in her. And let me tell you something else. The little girl's middle name is Diana. Do you know why Meghan Markle will never refer to that child as Diana? Because if she does, then everybody will be paying more attention to the little girl than to her. Because people will be making comparisons between the little girl and Princess Diana. So that's what we're facing here. That's what we're facing here. She does not want the competition of that baby, because that baby's middle name, people will start talking about that child. This is how petty, disgusting, and narcissistic she is. I want to quickly say something, because in my last video, people were saying, oh, the Archbishop said something, and how dare you, Paula? No. This wasn't XYZ unknown person who went on a very public platform to state that they have committed a crime, because what Meghan Markle said during the Oprah interview about her wedding, it is a crime. This was a very public figure stating that she, along Prince Harry and the Archbishop of Canterbury, had broken the law. So people say, why does he have to say anything? Because he has been. It's like somebody going on, let me put it this way. It would be like Mariah Carey going online saying, or Kim Kardashian going online and saying, I committed bigamy. And she says that in public, because bigamy, it is an illegal act, and she's saying it in a very public platform. It has to be taken seriously. It has to be investigated, because then there is a criminal offense involved here that she's admitting to in a very public forum. And that's what Meghan Markle did when she said that she had gotten married 3 days before, and the wedding that happened afterward was basically a sham for the entire world, that Harry, the Archbishop, and her had committed fraud. That's what it was. So for Archbishop, when something like that so seriously and so publicly said, there has to be a statement made. It has to, and yet he was refusing to do it. There could have been a church statement saying that the only official wedding and legal wedding ever signed by or officiated by him and the Church of England was on whatever date it was. I don't know if it was May 19th or 29th. I don't know. Without having to refer to anything about Meghan Markle. But that needed to be clarified, and he has refused to do so till this day. It was just an off comment when he was caught in Italy, and it was an off comment which belies the seriousness of what Meghan Markle said. Meghan Markle hasn't taken back that statement, by the way. She hasn't taken back that statement, and the bishop has not refuted that officially through the church. So keep your thoughts on that. But what do you guys think of the picture? And keep in mind that I'm not trashing the children. So don't come and do a Ben Affleck on me. Like, oh, leave my children out of it. No, he was being called out on his behavior. So can anybody please tell me, knowing the dynamics and reading the message underneath it, saying, yeah, when this boy was born, yeah, it was okay. But what really matters is this girl. Another thing is donations. They made donations on your behalf. Whose behalf? They don't represent the American people. They don't represent the British people. They don't represent anybody. You know, and the only thing that they're doing is mining your details, which they sell to companies for money. That's where they're getting most of their money right now. So nobody donates to them because nobody trusts them. So please leave your comments. Please leave your comments. I will do another video in a couple of days, but leave your comments. Meghan Markle is a known liar. It's true. But even when it's a known liar, a confirmed liar, and like her and Harry. And let me tell you something. Now Harry is giving money to the Afghan refugees instead of helping the veterans that he ditched, by the way, because he ditched the Invictus Games and the veterans and everything. Now he's helping the people who were attacking the veterans. Good going. Good going. Wanker, 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 wanker. But these are all my thoughts and opinions. Leave your comments. And if you like my channel, please, lovely people, like, share, and subscribe. Have a good day.